It's just the inventory itself is you'll have the weapons, and then you have all this junk at the bottom, like batteries and duct tape and stuff like that. And if you're not modifying your weapons, it just becomes kind of a hassle to look at your menu. You see all this shit down there, and you can sell it. But the thing is, you're gonna be selling more magnets and more batteries than actually buying shit. And it's just like, if you could use these things overall, it'd be a lot more interesting, but you're not using these things, so therefore it becomes pointless to carry these things, let alone take the time and the environment to pick this shit up. And while there's a couple of collection quests like alcohol and water and stuff like that, it just becomes tiresome, and I mean, it looks like a hassle to actually look through the menu, and it just looks cramped and clogged up for the most part. And I frequently don't pick up that stuff, and even though you can modify your weapons, not all the stuff that you need to modify your weapons is on there, so therefore you're just picking up random shit, and it's just becoming a pain in the ass to carry. The map is nice. I like using the map. However, I do wish that there was more fast travel. It becomes more of a pain in the ass to go out and have to, even though I like exploring maps, it's like if you want to get to the objective and you know where the objective is, you still have to travel there, and it's kind of a pain to go through the same areas, and you can't fast travel to those areas and just pick it up. But I guess that's just the adventure out of it, but it becomes more of a repetitive process. One of my main problems with the game overall is the compactness and the very cozy feeling the map makes you feel overall. The whole game itself is expansive and big, but when you get to the ends of the game or the ends of the area, it'll tell you that you cannot go that way. And when you tell them that you can't go that way, it's a real big kick in the balls. It's basically saying, fuck you, I'm the editor, I did this, and it kind of just soaks you out of the experience and makes you feel less more of a person in that situation and more of just a guy playing a video game. And it just destroys the experience overall when you get to those areas. And while Cyrodiil and all those places have like borders, like big ass mountains that you can't get past, and like Mario 64, how you couldn't get up Bowser's stairs for the most part, this just kind of just soaks you out and just puts you in another area. So it's just like even though you can try to like swim endlessly from Cyrodiil to like somewhere else in Elder Scrolls, you can never make it. But this game just kind of makes you say, okay, we're putting you back here. So it kind of restricts you and makes you feel like it's more of a linear experience. Driving is so-so. I'm not really too crazy about the first-person driving experiences in general, but after a while of playing it, you do get a hand on it, and it does become somewhat enjoyable to run over zombies. Shooting is also a breeze in this game. I'm actually surprised on how well the shooting works. It's more of a fluid, auto aim system, but the thing is that it does work, and it's not particularly as screwed up as some games like Resident Evil. While that might just because of my first-person shooter preference, overall, I feel like the shooting does work and it's nice, but it's not more the primary signature of the game. It's more the melee weapons that are the signature of the game. Now, melee weapons in the game are nice. There's just not as much variance as they promised us. I see umbrellas on the ground and stuff. I'm wondering how come I cannot pick those up and use those as a weapon and stuff like that, and then use a beer bottle and hit something in the head. It's not as interactive as I wanted it to be, and that's just another complaint. But at the same time, you're just like, this game prides itself in making it like you have to use whatever you can find as a weapon, but you can't pick up like benches and pick up chairs like you can in Dead Rising and Dead Rising 2. It just kind of limits your inventory, and you're mainly just picking up like pipes and wooden planks. And while those are rewarding to break the bones of like a bunch of fucking zombies and to kill all the zombies with those, it's just not as interesting as like maybe picking up something. But then maybe, and I'm just being a baby about it. But overall, the melee factor is rewarding and satisfying in itself, but it could have a lot more to do with it, especially when it comes to upgrading. Upgrading just feels like maybe you're just adding a little bit of damage, and the decay is still as bad. And I honestly felt myself repairing more stuff than actually picking up. Because once you have something that can do a great deal of damage, pretty much you're still going to have to continue repairing it, and it costs the money, which you have to pay for by selling that shit. And it's just not as innovative as maybe Dead Rising, picking up a purse or something and beating the shit out of something. It's silly, but then again, Dead Island, for some reason, didn't pick up the silly tone, and it just kind of fades in itself. Missions consist of very different things, especially in the zombie genre of films. Convoy missions, protecting people, so forth. But this does become a bit of a issue because it's just kind of repetitive, and it just doesn't add as much degrees of different ways to do things. And while it supposedly is like this open world thing, you do things very linear. And I just wish that you had more options to maintain and to fight in certain ways. But it just doesn't work out that way. Zombies feel somewhat ripped off from other games, more successful games might I add, like Left 4 Dead. But overall, I mean, it is presentable, and the zombie types and the different varieties is nice. But I do wish that they kind of stuck with some more original monsters. And that just might be me just getting tired of zombies in general. The game mechanics are nice, and they work. And they're just pretty much standard, basic shooter game controls. But what I do have a problem with is that for a game that specializes in melee combat, there is no blocking technique in the game. While you can jump from side to side, pretty much there is no blocking. And if you have like a fire axe or something, you should be able to block with it and possibly recoil your enemy. But from that, you don't have this in this game, and it just kind of feels more of a letdown, because if you have this type of weapons, you should be able to block with it, let alone, and if you jump side to side, there might be a zombie on the other side, and it just becomes more of a inconvenience to try to jump out of the way instead of just receiving the full damage. And I quite often had to kick things out of the way, which might be the block, so to say, but it just didn't feel like a complete mechanism, and the melee feels a little bit broken for something that strives itself to be like a melee action game. The game is good. It's a great game overall, in the sense that if you like first-person shooters and you like RPG elements in those first-person shooters and you like zombies, it might work for you. But if you're just like someone that likes military shooters, I'm sure there's plenty of games out there. I don't even know why you'd be interested in Dead Island. And for zombie survival fans, especially for the people that like Dead Space and the horror in general, I would kind of stay away. While some zombie shooter-up fans like Left 4 Dead and stuff like that would be fine with this game, they're still going to eventually be playing those games before they play this.